You're with Julian on the Brown Notes and a review of the latest album by Dirty Three, the Nick Cave analogous instrumental post-rock act that formed all the way back in 1992. I even saw them in Edinburgh in, I think, the late 90s. So been around for a while. 3 members, and only one of them is actually a Bad Seeds member. It kind of gets lost in translation that the other 2, Mick Turner on bass and electric guitars and Jim White on drums, aren't actually Bad Seeds members, but Warren Ellis very much is the right hand man of Nick Cave, because him and Nick Cave have made a number of very influential movie soundtracks, as well as being in the Bad Seeds and in Dirty Three. So their latest album has come out, and it's probably one of their most commercial. Love Changes Everything, and I'm not going to review the tracks particularly, more the vibe of the album, because every track is called Love Changes Everything 1, 2, 3 to 7. And I think if there's an album it reminded me of, it was the I can't remember what it's the title of the last Sigur Rós album. Such an underrated album. It was in my top 5 of the year last year. It's a very meditative album, very transcendental, very relaxing, and a suite of songs that are definitely individual tracks because they occupy a slightly different place rather than one long piece that's broken up. I thought there's some grinding post-rock guitars that hang around in the background on a lot of the tracks, and also some very John Cale-esque squalling violins. Almost reminded me on that opener of F Sharp, A Sharp, Infinity, my all-time favourite instrumental rock album from Godspeed You Black Emperor. We get some ethereal vocals on the second track, very nice piano, and the drums sort of tapping away like distant thunder, very syncopated, almost Radioheady, I felt a little bit. Meditative, Ghosteen almost vibe to the track. I always wonder why they just merged Dirty Three and the Bad Seeds to a degree. And there's some sound collage stuff in here as well, with the sort of interruptions into the music. The third track has got this sort of twinkling, almost Bon Iver Holocene vibe. It's very peaceful, very mood-affirming ambient music, and Brian Eno famously coined the definition of ambient music as music that would change your mood. And I think this is a balm for the most perhaps anxious period in modern history. It's a very calming, soothing record which you can pour your anxiety in and sort of get this like feeling of the ocean sort of taking everything away from you. It's a very quiet album, even though there's some sort of squally guitars and violins. It's for the most part very easy to listen to, very easygoing, very stress relieving, very pastoral. Reminded me a little bit of the more soothing elements to Mahler's symphonies. There's a shoegaze duo, I think, who were boyfriend and girlfriend from the 90s that did this album. I think Weather something, or Weather was one of the tracks, where everything is like passing storms. And it really reminded me of that. And there's this vibe on the final track of waking up and leaving the past behind and feeling positive. I think it's a very soothing, anxiety reducing. It's the kind of project you can put on in the background, but it will slightly drag you into it. And every time it drags you into it, it leaves negative things behind. So it's a very strong album. Did I even look up the title? Yeah, Love Changes Everything. So it's a very strong album. I thought it was beautiful. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10 for Dirty Three and Love Changes Everything.